Welcome back to Phoenix Dreams. We are back with another episode of SpeakWrite with Sid, and this is episode 8. What we're going to do today is we're going to start a fresh topic in SpeakWrite, and this is going to be a series where we'll discuss various aspects of this topic in the subsequent videos. And the topic that I'm going to start today is figures of speech. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this. In fact, it is part of our English language studies in school. And a lot of you will have come across this when you were studying English. So we're going to take various figures of speech and understand them and understand their usage and their impact in the English language as a series. But before I start, obviously, let me tell you what exactly figures of speech mean. Now, figures of speech can in the English language can be a word or a group of words or a phrase which are used so that you can create an effect on a reader or on a listener or on the receiver of the communication. So it is intended to create an effect, a strong effect, a persuasive effect, and the words used in that entire phrase need not necessarily be taken in the literal sense, and that's what makes it unique. That the words used in the figure of speech are on their own. If you look at them separately, they might mean something else entirely, but when they are used in the context of the topic that you're talking about, they mean something else because they create a different effect, because you need not take them in the literal sense. So once again, to repeat, a figure of speech is a word or a group of words intended to produce a strong or a vivid impact or result of somebody, and need not be taken in the literal sense. Now, there are various figures of speech that we use in the English language. To state a few examples, there are metaphors, there is simile, there is hyperbole, there is an anticlimax, there is pun, there is a rhetoric. So there are quite a few, and we're going to discuss all of these in detail. And we'll take one or two figures of speech in every video, so that depending on how easy or complicated it is, so that we're able to better understand each one of them. Today in the first video, I'm going to take a figure of speech which is one of my personal favorites, and it is known as an oxymoron. Yeah, at times it does sound moronic when you have a look at it. I'll give you a few examples. But yeah, what you're going to talk about is an oxymoron. Now, an oxymoron is a figure of speech when it has to be a group of words. It is when you use a group of words, or two words ideally, which are contradictory in meaning to each other, but you use them together to create a different effect altogether. So there'll be two antonyms or two words which mean diametrically opposite, used together to state something else. I'll give you a few examples. Exact estimate, open secret, growing smaller, clearly confused, then random order, only choice. Now, if you look at all of these words that are used in the pairs, they all meant the opposite thing, but they are used together to create a certain effect in somebody. Now, let's understand. It is not as moronic as it sounds, because it really means something, and it creates a desired result. Now, for example, if I say clearly confused. Now, to be clear is to be not confused at all. But what do you mean by clearly confused? So, two contradictory words, but meaning something else. So, what do you say when you try to say that someone is really not sure of what they're doing? You say that fellow is clearly confused. So, what does it mean? That it is quite clear to everyone that person is confused. So, you say clearly confused. He's not confused. He's not clear that he's confused. Everybody else is clear that he's confused. Exact estimate. Now, an estimate is in itself a roundabout figure, an approximate figure. So how can it be exact? Now, when you use these two words together, what it means is that don't give me a huge range which doesn't really give me any information. For me to get more detailed information about an approximation that you're giving me, do not give me a vague estimate, give me an exact estimate. Then act naturally is another one. So if you are supposed to be natural, you're supposed to be who you are. It means you're not supposed to act, right? But when you want someone to be themselves, you tell them, don't worry, it's all right, it'll be all right, just act naturally. Which means what you're telling them is that even if you are nervous, even if you feel that you're not gonna, you're gonna make a mistake or you're gonna goof up, put on an act about what or how you naturally would behave. So yeah, you make an effort to be yourself is when you act naturally. Then only choice. Only is just one, which means you don't have a choice. And choice means when you have multiple alternatives. But the only choice, when you use them together, what it means is that yes, you've had a look at all the possible alternatives, and the only one of those alternatives that seems feasible and possible is this one. So this is the only choice. Right, so those are a few examples of oxymorons wherein you use two words which have contradictory meanings to create a new meaning, a different meaning of its own, to create a kind of an effect in somebody. Right, so that's all I have for you. We'll move on to other figures of speech in the next edition of SpeakWrite with Sid. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching, and if you like what you watched, please share. Thank you very much. Till next time.